first talk of the session today. This will be by Mr. Arijit Dutta Choudhury, who is the Director General of NCSM, Kolkata. NCSM stands for the National Council of Science Museums. This comes under the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Mr. Arijit Dutta Choudhury has more than 30 years of work experience in developing and operation of science centers under the aegis of NCSM. His activities comprise of development of exhibits and complete projects on turnkey basis, for example. He joined NCSM in 1987 and hence has had more than 30 years of experience in this area. During his long career, he has contributed immensely by developing several science museums and centers throughout the country and developing exhibitions and activities in non-formal science education programs. Hence, just as I explained, for today's program, he is an apt speaker for us. Mr. Arijit Dutta Choudhury today is going to tell us about what he excels in, namely all speakers will tell us about what they excel in. Mr. Arijit Dutta Choudhury will tell us about science promotion efforts undertaken by NCSM. Mr. Choudhury.
On behalf of National Council of Science Museums, I extend a hearty welcome to the Indian Academy of Sciences, the Academy Trust, and all their office bearers for collaborating with us organizing this event. In fact, we all are looking forward to hearing from the distinguished speakers over the next, I would say, a month. I'm sure it will be a learning for all of us also. Just to give a brief about our activities and about National Council of Science Museums, I'll try to make it a little short. Well, the history of technological museums or industrial and technological museums, it started with the Birla Industrial and Technological Museum here in Gurushadar Road in Kolkata. The year 1959, EITM was open to the public. Then it was part of CSIR, Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. And this was the first, I would say, on behalf of the government, a formal, proper science and technology museum. This was followed by the next Science and Technology Museum at Bangalore, named as the Vishesharaya Industrial and Technological Museum, which opened in 1965. And subsequently, a land was acquired by CSIR to develop a science museum in Mumbai at Worli. And that was the time when I would say the first two science museums which came up, they were influenced by the Deutsches Museum in Munich as well as the Science Museum in London. But when it came to opening of a science museum in Mumbai, by then the Exploratorium in San Francisco was becoming very popular. The approach of Exploratorium was being appreciated by the people, a hands-on approach where people got an opportunity to participate and do some experiment, do some activity, and in the process try to understand the principles of science the exhibit was trying to communicate. So from Industrial and Technological Museum, the drift was towards Science Center. And in 1985, at Mumbai, a new science center opened in the name of Nehru Science Center. Prior to that, in 1974, when these activities were going on, the government formed a task force and they wanted to understand how important is science museums or science centers in informal science education. And their recommendation was that every district in India should have a science center, a science museum. So that was how they felt it has tremendous impact, and they thought that this is one thing that needs to be done. And they also realized that if this continues under CSIR, it may be difficult because CSIR's activities are much different than what is expected from here. And it was decided that a separate body would be formed, and that is how National Council of Science Museum was born on 4th April 1978. So, keep it brief, since then, over the last, I would say, around 40 odd years, we have developed 25 science centers which operate under NCSM, another 22 science centers which we have developed and handed over to different state governments and united territories across the country. And as of now, 17 new science centers are in the making. So we are trying to build science centers across the country. We are meeting people from diverse sections, diverse cultural background, and it is a wonderful experience that we have over the years of working jointly with different state governments, people from different parts of this country. And as Dr. Bhattacharya was just now saying, if you consider diversity, there cannot be any better place for diversity than what we have in our country. So we also have a wonderful experience working with diverse population, people from different cultural background. And over the years, this science center movement or the development of science centers have been continuously in demand. What the task force had suggested was to have science centers in different levels, what we call the national level science centers in large metropolitan cities, regional level centers at the state capitals, and the sub-regional, or we call as the district science centers in district headquarters. So considering more than 600 odd districts in the country, what we have is very small, just around 50 odd science centers which are functioning as of now, apart from maybe another 10 odd which are run by separate state governments or by private organizations also. So we started the mobile science exhibition that also has completed more than 50 years. We operate around 50 mobile buses across the country, 25 specifically for the aspirational districts, and the remaining which goes to the rural places. So this is how we are trying to reach out to the diverse population, meet the demands of the people. What I would like to also mention here is, in the process, as we proceeded, we found that cope up with this, there was a demand for different things. What we have also, all the science centers, in each science center, we try to have something very common, which we call it as the fun science exhibits. It talks on the basic fundamentals of science, where people get an opportunity to not only experience of doing something, participating and understanding the basic, there's some amount of, I would say, edutainment in that. So some education and entertainment. So that is there in each of the science centers. And apart from that, we have specific themes covered in different science centers. We try to make it as diverse as possible. And to add to that, we also conduct round the year lot of extension activities so that we can reach out to diverse population. A large clientele of that is students. Apart from that, we also try to reach out to different sections of the society through different programs. We also strive to develop traveling exhibitions around the year. 2 years back, we developed an exhibition called on antibiotics. Basically, the name of the exhibition was Superbugs. The end of antibiotic was, is it the end of antibiotic? So that is what we start 2 years back. We did with Science Museum Group London. It was supported by Wellcome Trust and as well as supported by ICMR here in India. This was a very successful exhibition. We also did another exhibition with, which we called as Vigyan Samagam. This was jointly with Department of Atomic Energy, and CERN was also involved in this program. This also traveled to the major metros in our country, and now we are working with the Science Museum on another exhibition called Hunt for the Vaccines. We have with us Professor Partha Majumdar, who is also helping us in this. He's chairman of a committee which is looking into the content for this exhibition. And I'm sure next year, November, when we open this exhibition, will also create a lot of interest among the visitors, especially under this unique situation that we are all passing through because of this COVID pandemic. I'm sure a lot of interest has accrued over the last year and a half. A lot of people are now looking at scientists for new ways of giving solutions to the different difficulties people are facing because of this pandemic. I'm sure hunt from the vaccines when it is launched next year will be a very successful exhibition. So this is what I would say we have been doing in India, developing exhibitions, developing science centers across the country. Apart from that, we have also taking exhibitions abroad. So we have taken our exhibitions to USA, to USSR earlier, to China, Europe, the South Asian countries, and we have also developed a science center on turnkey basis at Mauritius, developed few galleries for science centers in Australia, also supplied some affiliates to Portugal. So this is a continuous process which is going on. I sincerely hope that these collaborations which we are doing today, this will continue with other SNT organizations, and that way we'll be able to reach out to a large section of the people. And we are also just like to share just a day before yesterday, we have signed a MOU with CSIR. So we are coming up with some science centers in some of the CSIR labs. Our interest is we would like to come up not only with basic fundamentals of science, we also like to come up with cutting edge science and technology, which is being practiced in different research and SNT labs across the country. We're very fortunate that the guidance of Professor Majumdar, we could set up a gallery at National Institute of Biomedical Genomics, a genomics gallery. And what I understand from my colleagues as well as from Professor Majumdar, that there is a lot of interest among the people to see what we have developed there. I think that is a wonderful way for the scientists to showcase their activities for the general people. I'm sure the activities that we intend to start with CSR, we are step in this direction so that the recent activities, the recent cutting edge research which is going on in different labs can be showcased to the science centers across the country. So that's in brief about our activities across NCSM. I will not take any further time. I once again convey my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Professor Majumdar as well as the Academy Trust and the Indian Academy of Sciences for joining hands this program. I'm extremely grateful to all the distinguished speakers who will be sharing their knowledge, sharing their opinion on this topic as we celebrate this issue of diversity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Dutta Choudhury. I have a question. Often, I am approached by schools in near where I live now, in near Bangalore, for various activities. So I was wondering what one needs to do to bring the science museum to these schools. Just get in touch with you. Could you guide us on that?
Yeah, in fact, since you are staying in Bangalore, sir, I'd just like to inform you here also. Our Bangalore unit, that is Visheshara Industrial and Technological Museum, they have already taken an initiative to adopt some schools in and around Bangalore. So our whole intention is through this adoption, we would like to not only expect the children to come to our science center, but we would also reach out to them. For example, when they are being taught a particular subject and they have some difficulty in understanding or comprehending, we would like to, if they seek our guidance, we'll try to develop a set of experiments and take it to the school and use that as to supplement their routine curriculum studies which they do. So in the process, probably they'll get an opportunity to see something in front of their eyes to understand the basic principles of science in a much better way, and they'll be able to comprehend it better. And in the process also, more than that, probably it will also generate a lot of interest in them. So we are more interested that we get large number of children taking science as a career, and probably such exposures will generate interest in them, and probably they will also find it beneficial for them to continue education in different fields of science and technology.
Yeah, that is fantastic to know. Also from the academic trust, we try to organize such programs for high school children at the academic campus, which was not possible this year because of COVID, but hopefully in 2022, when perhaps COVID subsides. So we shall be glad to use your expertise for these experiments because on the occasion of the Science Day, a good number of students come to the Indian Academy of Science campus, and maybe we can that will be an opportunity for all of us to reach out to a large number of people.
We'll be extremely glad to support you in your initiative.
Thank you very much.